I'd like to welcome you all to this workshop about distinguished university students, and I hope you'll find it very useful. And I'd like to thank you for attending the workshop because it indicates that you are excellent students who are looking for something better and who are looking for a bright future. Now, the general outline for the workshop that I suggest is as follows. As you can see here, we have introduction, we have the criteria that you need to follow when you apply for the award, and then we have activities, but because it's online, we can just have the question and answer in there. And then the last one is the general questions and answers at the end. And the detailed outline, as I suggested, is as follows. We'll talk about the foundation, Hamdan Foundation, and then important terms and definitions that you have to know. And then the categories, what is new in this cycle, the 21st cycle, and then why do you participate in the award, performance evaluation steps, general guidelines, awards incentives, conditions for applying for the award, evaluation criteria, documentation, and then the question and answer. I will not talk about this in order, not necessarily in order, but as we go on, I'll try to cover all of these topics, and hopefully you will bear with me, as it's very important for you to understand these things to successfully apply and get the award, inshallah. Now, the objective of the foundation. As you can see, the Hamdan Foundation is very prestigious, and their objectives, or when it started, the objectives were to upgrade performance and activities in the education domain. Started with Dubai, United Arab Emirates, Arab world, and then world. One of the objectives also is to encourage initiatives, innovation, and excellence in all literary and scientific domains, schools and universities, and to contribute in creating modern and improved educational environment. And the last is to honor all talented and creative categories and parties involved in the educational sector, like you, who produce outstanding achievements and innovations. So these are basically the 4 objectives of the foundation. Now, about the foundation, when it started, or it was called like Hamdan Award, now it's foundation. It started in Dubai in 1998, sorry. And then after like 2 years, 3 years, it covered all United Arab Emirates and the Gulf states. In 2001, the award or the foundation introduced the Talent Sponsorship Center. And in 2009, the UNESCO award was introduced. So it's like moving to worldwide. In 2010, the Higher Education Award, like now, you are this university distinguished student. This is in this category. Higher Education Award was introduced. And in 2015, 2 centers for talent were established. The first one was Gifted and Creativity Center, and the second was the Hamdan bin Rashid Al Maktoum Center for Creativity, Fab Lab, United Arab Emirates. And this today and yesterday there is like a conference at Fab Lab, and hopefully some of you were able to attend. It's very nice, and I really encourage you to attend and to visit Fab Lab because it's very supportive, and you can get a lot of information and a lot of support if you have a talent. And I'm sure all of you have talents. This is the Fab Lab. It's a conference, as you can see, virtual innovation conference. It's still going today also. So if you have time after the workshop, you can attend some of the workshops. This is just another diagram for the award, how it started. Let me just use the pointer. So here in like 1999, and then United Arab Emirates 1999, and then 2003 GCC countries, and then 2006 Arab world, and 2009 the world through the UNESCO. So this is basically about the award. how it started and how it improved. As you can tell, the foundation or the award went very fast and steadily. It's very prestigious, and if you get the incentives from Hamdan Foundation, that will change your life. It's very, very prestigious worldwide right now. Now, definitions. Here we have some important definitions and terms that you need to know before you apply. Distinguished university, this is you. What it means any student who is enrolled in one of the universities at the United Arab Emirates, this university or the university that you are enrolled in should be approved by the Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research. So you are already a university student, so you can apply with no problems. Evidence, when we say evidence, you have to provide evidence to the award. What it means when you say something, you claim something, you say I have this and that, you have to provide a documentation, and which we call evidence. The evidence could be certificates, it could be photos, and we'll talk about details. It could be videotapes, something that will prove that you have that ability or that hobby or that skill, or that you did this activity or that activity. Now, talent, because the award is very prestigious, it focuses on talents, and in fact, it tries to make students discover their talents and then do well in their field. So a talent means an outstanding performance of the individual, let's say the student or the teacher, and it appears in one or more of the following dimensions, the talent. Mental ability, like in math, creativity, technical skills, and motion skills. These dimensions should be characterized by originality. So your talent should be original, flexible, you are flexible, and then more details about the talent. Now, the other term that you need to know, which is like, it's not a talent, but it's called hobby. And I believe most of you have a lot of hobbies. But hobbies are what? Are artistic or recreation activities undertaken during leisure time. So it's not like a talent. The talent has some characteristics that we'll talk about in more details as we go on. The hobby is not practiced as a profession. So you are not making, let's say, you don't go to competitions for your hobby. You go to competitions for something else, for your talent. So a hobby, you do hobbies in your leisure time. If you have time, sometimes you say, okay, I have a hobby, I'll improve my hobby. We'll talk about this in details, so don't worry about that. Now, community occasions. When we say community, the students has to be active in community occasions and events. What does that mean? It means religious events or occasions that you participate in, national or sports events, cultural, artistic, charitable, voluntary, and then environmental events. So the student who is supposed to be, let's say, distinguished or excellent student, is expected to have some events and participation in these activities, community. Of course, we'll talk about the events and occasions and competitions at the university, but here we are talking about community occasions and events. And only here, just definitions before we talk about the details. Issues. Now, according to the vision of the foundation or the award, people with a vision and mission conceive novel goals which they turn into reality by introducing innovative solutions and ideas and adopting these issues. So we'll talk about the issue or the course that you might adopt as a distinguished student. Creativity and innovation. Creativity and innovation is mentioned a lot in the application for the award. What it means this. Every innovative student is taken into consideration whether it is within the scope of the idea and implementation procedure or related to the topic. So a student has to be creative in doing something. The student has to be innovative. So if you have an idea, the idea that you created or you suggested should be creative and innovative and has an impact on what you are doing at the university or even on the community. So we'll talk about that later. Now, what's new here for this session, this is the 21st session. It's like seeing that there has been 20 and this 21 cycles for the award. But in this award, because of the COVID-19, there is like another dimension that was introduced. Let me just read with you this one so that you understand what's new. Hamdan bin Rashid Award Foundation for Distinguished Academic Performance launching its 23rd cycle. Oh, okay, I said 21st, sorry. So I missed 2 cycles. An exceptional circumstance as the world is facing coronavirus, the pandemic did not prevent the foundation from encouraging educational field in its various categories to participate in the 21st cycle, and is taken into consideration the adjustments made on the award categories, participation, conditions, and criteria as the following. Assuring the excellence is ongoing quality that is not subject to emergency conditions as well. Now, what that means here, a new criteria is added with a total of 200 points in addition to the price criteria totaling 1,000, and will be given under the following condition: presenting an innovative and effective initiative that contributed directly to the continuity of education in light of the corona pandemic. So because of the situation of the coronavirus, a lot of things have changed. So the students is supposed to have some activities during this period of pandemic. These activities could be, of course, online. It could be attending virtual classes, attending virtual workshops, conferences, and so on. So attach 3 evidence only for the initiative. You have an initiative for this period of time, following specific file size. This will be in the system. So when you go to the system and you find out the application, you will know the condition and the size of the files. But what it means here, if you have activities during this pandemic, it is a new category or a new, let's say, criteria that has been added to the 23rd cycle. So this is the new thing. It wasn't there last year on the 22nd cycle because we had no coronavirus. There was no problem at all. And the pandemic or the COVID-19 made a lot of changes, especially to the education sector, to the delivery methods of workshops, conferences, seminars, different. You see here, for example, at the universities, teaching converted from face-to-face to online at most of the universities. I am faculty member at the United Arab University in Al Ain, and we converted totally 100% to online teaching because of the coronavirus. Now, as a distinguished student, during this period, like 6 months or more, or maybe the whole year, you should have attended some virtual activities and events. And anything you did to benefit the community during this critical period will be counted for you through your application. And this is one condition, new condition from the foundation. The award categories, there are nine categories. Distinguished university student, this is your category, and you need to focus on this category, of course. But let me just go through the other categories. Distinguished school administration category, the best education research at the level of the Arab world, distinguished student 3rd to 5th grade, which is not, you have nothing to do with it right now, but maybe you have a sister or brother, you can encourage them to apply for the award. Just let me tell you, the Hamdan Foundation is very supportive. The goal is to support education sectors across the country, across the Arab world, across the Gulf countries. So if you have a talent, if you are active, if you have hobbies, if you do a lot of work at the university, you are very much encouraged to apply for the award. Hamdan Foundation is very supportive all the way through. They have centers, they have talent center, they have Fab Lab, they have hotlines for support, and all you have to do is to expose your talents and your activities as a distinguished student. Number 5, distinguished teacher. Maybe once you graduate, if you are in the, let's say, a teacher, you can apply for the award. Distinguished project, distinguished student 6th to 12th grade, distinguished educator, educational support institutions. So these are the 9 categories of the award. Why do you participate? Now, let me just ask you to throw out your ideas. Why do you want to participate in the award? What are the things or the advantages of participating in the award? Let me just stop a little bit, and I'll ask you to post your comments on the question and answer panel, and just to share, and we'll see what you have in mind. You should have a goal, and this is very important for you. You should have a vision, and it should be clear for you why you are participating in the award. And I think you will know after the discussion that's very, very important and very encouraging, very rewarding to participate in the award. So please, can you go to the question and answers and brainstorm on why you want to apply for the award, and we can just discuss and see what you have. Just I'll stop like two minutes. So please feel free to write whatever you have in mind. Why do you want to participate in the award? What do you think? What will you gain? What will participation give you? So can you please just go to the question and answer and write your comments? So what do you think? What can you get from your participation? What are the things that you will accomplish as a result of participating in the award? I'm sure if you think, you will know it is very rewarding and it's very nice, regardless of be able to express and showcase my powers and abilities on such. Yes, that's very nice comment. What else? Improve CV and gain higher self-esteem. Yeah, very nice. Mariam, what more? Scratch your head and get your ideas out. More? Any more comments? Just feel free, please, to expel your thoughts. So we have 2 comments. There is attendance. Don't worry about that. There is a question here. There is attendance certificate. I believe you will get a certificate of attendance of the workshop. Right now, please focus on getting as much information as you can from this workshop. And hopefully by the end of the workshop, you will have the motivation to apply. And hopefully, inshallah, we'll see you in the ceremony at the end of the 23rd cycle of the award. So we have improving your CV. Okay, let me go back to now show your talent. Okay, this is one you didn't say it, but you said show your achievement. Yes. So now every one of us should have a talent. Sometimes you don't know your talent, but Allah gave each one of us a talent or 2 or more, and we need to discover these talents. Now, applying for the award will help you show your talent to the world. So by going through the application, going through the criteria, you will discover that you have something that you can show to the world. So this is one of the things that will encourage you to apply. Recognition as distinguished university student. Sometimes you know you are good, you are excellent, you are distinguished, but it's within or for yourself. That's not enough. You need to show other people that you are distinguished, you are good, you are excellent, you are different. So the award will help you achieve this objective. It will recognize you. All you have to do is to apply, organize your file, provide the evidences, and inshallah you will get the award. So in any case, if you apply, you don't get the incentive, there will be an incentive regardless, but it doesn't have to be money. The recognition by itself per se is good, And many of the students say, oh, okay, if I apply, will I get the award? You should not think about that. During the process of the application, you learn a lot of ideas. You learn a lot of things. You know yourself better. You know your abilities. You know your activities. You know your talents. You know the things that you need to focus on more in the future. So at least what you will get from the award is realizing that you have to do something beside the academic achievement. Academic achievement is not enough. Getting 4.0 is not enough. Getting 3.9 is not enough. You need to be active. You need to go beyond the academic achievement. Uh, and this is the real world. The real world will not ask you what GPA you have, and that's enough. You have to be active. You have to have some, let's say, competitions. You have to have some activity in the community, in your small community, the university, on the level of the department, the university, the college, and then beyond. So a distinguished student is very active. So the award will help you do that. Uh, so please be very optimistic about yourself, hope for the best, and try to prepare what is needed to prepare to apply for the award. Sometimes you feel you are not ready for the award, but I still do encourage you to apply, because going through the process will help you focus on things that you didn't know before. And then you say, okay, this year I'll apply, I'll provide whatever I have. Then I will get feedback from the award. You will get a lot of feedback, detailed feedback. The award is very fair, and the reviewers go through the documents, and then if there is a document that doesn't or is not good enough, they write their comments. Say, okay, evidence number so and so needs to be is not clear and needs to be changed, or you need to do this and that. For your talent, you did not provide an evidence. The feedback that you get from the award will help you improve your application for the next cycle. So please go ahead and apply this year, even if you think you are not going to get the incentive. Of course, there are 3 different types of incentives, which I will talk about in a minute. But in general, uh, spend time, plan, and then go ahead and apply. And hopefully you will get one of the 3 types of incentives the foundation has. And next year, if you don't get, let's say, the financial incentive, next year you apply again. So recognition as a distinguished university student, enhance your talent, abilities, and creativity. And I think you will understand this point once you start the preparation of your file. Resume and CV, somebody already said that. I think Mariam said to improve your resume and CV. If you go through the criteria that the award has set up, then you will know. You say, I have to do this. I have to have, let's say, professional development activities, conferences, symposiums. I have to attend workshops. I have to deliver, let's say, workshops, and so on and so forth. So this will be part of your CV in the future. There was a video clip, but we'll skip it here because of the technical issues. Now, let me stop and see if you have any questions so far. So if you have a question so far, before we go on, please go ahead and ask your questions. Okay, so the certificate, attendance certificate, there is no certificate. Oh, I'm sorry, I said maybe, but it's not me who gives the certificates, it's the award. And I think because of, I don't know why, but don't worry about it right now. Please worry about learning, getting something from the award. Now, do you have any questions so far? Please go ahead and write your questions. The award will encourage me to explore, okay, my creative and innovative side. Okay, that's about the award. Now, do you have any questions about what we said so far? I will just wait for 1 minute. Come on, please feel free. Don't feel shy. Just go ahead and write down your questions. Yeah, I am waiting. Okay, no questions. So if you don't have any questions, let me go back and we'll continue. Now, because of the video clip, so I'll not ask you what you learned from this previous clip. But this clip was about somebody who had no legs, and because of his determination and willingness to excel in his life, he became one of the wrestlers, world wrestlers. Just imagine with no legs. So with hard work, with motivation, you can do the impossible. And there are a lot of people worldwide who you think they can't do anything. But in fact, with the determination, perseverance, and hard work, they become very famous and they can achieve a lot of things. And you can do, anyone can do. It's a matter of like you need to believe in yourself. You have to have high self-esteem. But with that, you have to plan and work hard. Nothing comes easy. Easy come, easy go. But if you work hard, you do what you are supposed to do, you have high self-esteem, I think you can change your life. So please start changing your life with Hamdan Foundation. Apply for the award, and you will know what I mean once you get the award, inshallah. Now, now let's talk about the incentives a little bit, because many think they have to have an incentive. As you can see here, there are 3 incentives. The first incentive is getting 40,000 dirhams plus certificate of appreciation plus excellence trophy. Now, who gets this? The winner. Now, but how can you win and how can you get 40,000 plus the certificate plus the excellence trophy? You can just check the website. The award sets a number of winners for each category. So sometimes for university distinguished students, the award gives, let's say, 8 winners, 6 winners, 4 winners. But if you are a winner, you are expected to have more than 80% of the grade or the score of the application. 80%. Now, sometimes you get 80%, but there are more students who have more than 80%, and there is a limited number of awards or winners. So the students who get more, the higher they are, like, let's say, listed, let's say 900, 850, 800, and we have 2. So the ones who got 900 and 800, let's say 50, they get this category, the first category. You got 80%, but there is no award for you, but you get also a certificate of excellence. So this is the second incentive, certificate of excellence. Now, this means you are already a winner, but you did not get the financial, let's say, and you did not get the trophy because there were some students who got higher scores than you. So in this case, you have 80%, you get the certificate of excellence, you are excellent, you are the single student. If you fall in this category, all you have to do, try again. That's all I can tell you. Now, the third, if you get less than 50%, a minimum of 50, between, let's say, 50% and 79%, you get a certificate of participation, which means you participate in the award. Thank you for participation. Now, if you fall under this category, what you need to do is to study the feedback you get from the award, from the foundation, one by one, and try to provide the evidences for what is missing. The award or the reviewers will tell you, in category number 1, there is this evidence missing. So, okay, work on that and provide an evidence. And hopefully, the next cycle you apply for, you will move from this part to this part, or even the second part. Just remember, the second incentive depends on the number of awards given in each cycle. One thing that I'd like to draw your attention to, because the foundation is very supportive of students, sometimes they set up for 2 awards for university students. And then 4 students got very high scores, 900 plus or whatever. it's more likely the award will say, okay, instead of giving 2 winners, announcing 2 winners, we'll say 4 winners. It's in your side. So the award is always in your side, or the teacher's side, or the school side, or the university side, the teacher. So it's just like that. So you need to do your part, and the foundation will do its part. So these are the 3 incentives provided by the award. Now let me go back to the questions, if you have any, just for 2 minutes, regarding incentives. So please go to the questions and write your incentives. Okay, I'll just wait for maybe 1 minute. Let me check the timer. So go ahead, please, if you have a question about incentives. Published. Let's see. Can I apply in the first year of university? Yes. So there is a question, can I apply in the university, in the first year of university? Of course, you can apply. Just remember, you have to provide evidences for the last 3 years plus this year, which means the universities in the first year, you have to have, you will get your evidences the first year from university, and then you go back with evidences for your, let's say, 12th grade, 11th grade, 10th grade. How can we know that our evidence is sufficient enough? Okay, because in the application you'll find out. In the application, let me just go to the, once I go to the criteria, you will understand that. But usually in the application, it tells you, this is the criteria, now provide 2 evidences. Now, we'll talk about the evidences and the quality of evidences once we talk about conditions and general advice. Just if you have anything about incentives right now, please. Can I apply the, okay. How can we know that our, okay, that's the same question. So we have, now, by the way, we can, I'll, after the workshop, hopefully, inshallah, I will answer these questions one by one, and then they will be posted to Tamayuz on YouTube or in the Tamayuz channel, inshallah. Any questions? Let's see, there is an, okay. No more questions? Now, please, during the workshop, feel free to post any question you have in mind. You need to be certain. Don't go from the workshop unless you fully understand all the procedures, how to apply, what to do, what type of evidences will be accepted, and so on and so forth. This is your chance to get information about the award, and you have until October 15 to apply. So you still have time. If you already have, you are supposed to have the evidences, or let's say you have the activities, you attended the events, you attended seminars, conferences, you are very active. Now what you have to do is just to collect and categorize your evidences and then apply. So no questions. Let me go back. So these are the 3 award incentives, and I am very optimistic that all of you will be in the first category and the second category. Why I'm so optimistic? Because usually students who have the time, spend the time to attend workshops, are really distinguished students and excellent students who are always striving for the better, for better life, for better education. And if you, and I know it's not easy to attend workshops and spend, let's say, a few hours just listening to somebody talking on the other end of the world, or let's say, I don't know, we are attending from different places. So I'm very optimistic, and I do really encourage you to go home today and start preparing the file. Start preparing your evidences, and then study the guideline and apply. Good luck to all of you. Now, performance evaluation steps. How evaluation is done? There are 5 steps. The first thing is the application. Now, you go to the website. I'll show you the website later, Tahkeem, and then you create an account for yourself, and then get the application, fill in the application, There are some procedures. You will know instructions once you go there and down the application. You have to create an account, and the system will send you an email confirmation, and then you start uploading the evidences according to the criteria, etc., etc. So it's a process. But before you do anything, before starting uploading the files, you need to read carefully the guidelines, and then you go through all the criteria. You understand that well, what you need to do, what evidences you will upload. Once you are ready, then you start uploading the files. Now, once that is done, there will be the central evaluation, which is done right now online, used to be done at the Hamdan Foundation headquarters in Dubai. But right now, mainly it's online. That's the central evaluation. Each application is reviewed by at least 2 reviewers, at least 2, sometimes 3, but mainly 2. If there is no conflict between the scores given by the 2, then it's done. But if there is conflict between, or let's say one reviewer gave the students very high score and the other one gave the students very low score, then a third person will review the application again. So at least 2 reviewers. Now, once the review process is done, the evaluation step number 2 is done, there will be interviews or sometimes field visits if you are a teacher. But for you as a university student, if you reach to a certain point, let's say 80% of the score, sometimes less, it depends on how the decision made by the foundation, you will be called for an interview. Now, my recommendation for you, if you are called for the interview, bring all your documents with you, the documents that you apply to the system. And in addition to that, that's not enough. In addition to that, if you have more evidences, new evidences that you got them after the application, bring them to the interview. You might say, why do I need to bring the application? Because the evidences to the interview. Because sometimes during the interview, the reviewers will tell you, oh, okay, and criteria number 1, you provided an evidence that was not clear to us. So you say, no, okay, let me show you the original. And then you show the committee the original evidence. If the committee sees, or the 2 reviewers see, or who, in the interview, they see the evidence very clear, then okay, they will change the score. So that's why you need to bring the original documents with you. The second thing, let's say after you applied, you attended some seminars, you got a certificate, a winning certificate. Bring that with you, and when they interview, when you get interviewed, you tell them, okay, after the application, I received this certificate. The committee will add that to your file, and most likely your score will go higher. So that's the third step, it's the interview. Now, if you are not called for the interview, you will receive a letter, hopefully with an excellent certification or appreciation certificate, participation certificate, with comments. And this is the key point. Once you receive the comments, then go through them one by one. If you have questions, you can always go back to the award, to the foundation, and ask them. Usually, the comments are very, or they should be in fact, very detailed and procedurals. You did not for criteria 1.1, there was evidence number 1.2.3, but the evidence was not dated. Then okay, you know what the problem exactly, and then you fix it. Once the interview is done, the foundation will announce the winners. Once they announce the winners, they will set up a date for the ceremony. Usually the ceremony is done at in Dubai, but this year, because of the pandemic, the coronavirus, the COVID-19, it was done virtually. So hopefully, inshallah, this cycle, 23rd cycle, the COVID-19 will be gone, and then the ceremony will be done face-to-face, so that you can attend and you can feel happy and you can feel your achievements. Now, let me go back to the questions panel, and please, if you have questions right now, feel free and ask. I'll wait for 2 minutes. Let me just have the timer. Go ahead, please. Just remember, right now it's all introduction. I know it's a little bit long, but once we go to the criteria, if there is something that you did not understand well right now, you'll understand it when I talk about the criteria. And in fact, understanding the criteria is the most important part of this workshop. But also the introduction is very important for you to understand. So go ahead and write down your questions, please. I'll wait for 1 minute for you. Okay, any questions? Okay, so it seems no questions, right? So I'll go back to the presentation. So as you can see, as I said, there are five steps for performance evaluation. Now let's go and talk about general guidelines. And please pay attention to these guidelines. Because sometimes you say, okay, these guidelines are common sense. No, of course they are common sense, but it's very important for you to understand them. So the first guideline, of course, this is, all documents provided will be the property of the foundation. But remember here, it's online. So you should not worry about that one. But this guideline is there because in the past, you have to submit like a hard copy file. And some students say, okay, will I get my file back? No. In all cases, no, you will not get your file back. Here online, you cannot ask for your application from the award. Once you submit it, it's submitted, it becomes the property of the foundation. Which means if you want to save the application, let's say for next year, for example, before you go to the next screen, you can take a screenshot of the first screen, just to know what you wrote. Maybe if you want to write, sometimes you write online. So let's say you are on screen number 1, and you wrote a paragraph. You didn't copy it and paste. Just you typed it. So you can take a screenshot and save it. Save that screenshot on a file. So you keep taking screenshots, and all your application will be in Word file, for example, and save it. Next year you can go back and check it and check what you wrote. However, it's encouraged that you write the text. If you have a text, of course, you write it in Word, and then when you apply, you just copy and paste to the system. But you will not be able to request a copy of your application, online application from the award. All enclosed evidence should be of activities conducted in the past 3 years. Now this one, including year of application, no, it was a mistake. It's just like last cycles, plus in addition to this year. So which means you can have 2016 academic year, no, 17, 18, 19, plus this year. So almost you have 4 years. So 3 years in addition to, instead of including, in addition to this year. And I think it's a long time, 4 years, to have evidence, to collect evidences for the award. I'm sure if you do an activity per month, you will be fine, 1 or 2 activities monthly. But as you see, consistency is very important. Just remember, take a note of this one. It's an in addition instead of including. So this one will be in addition. 3 years in addition to this year. Remember, 17, 18, 19, 20. So for 3 plus. All enclosed documents should be dated, signed, and stamped. This is very important. You see, we have 3 things. You have to make sure of 3 things: dated, signed, and then stamped. Now, this is a documentation. Why the foundation requests that? Because this is documentation. You need to provide evidence of what you do. of your activities. So just imagine you provided the certificate as an evidence that you attended, let's say you attended the conference, but there is no date. So that's not counted. If you don't have a date, that evidence will not be taken into account, because we don't know. The conference was conducted 5 years, 4 years, 6 years. It should be within 3 years, or within, let's say, 3 years plus this year. Signed. Now, why signature is important? It's just like authentication, because sometimes if it's like a regular, you write something, I got this and that, or certificate like that without signature of the person in charge, anybody can do that, right? So it has to be signed and stamped. So signature and stamp will make the certificate authenticated. So it's 3 things: dated, signed, and stamped. Now, sometimes you say, I have, let's say, an evidence, but there is no signature, nothing, but I have the date. If it's from university, you can go back to students affairs and they will confirm that this is a real evidence. If it's from, let's say, an institution or a company, you can just write to them and say, could I please get this certificate authenticated by you, because I need to apply for an award, and most likely they will do it for you. From my experience, some students just ask for help from the university itself, from student affairs, who confirm that these evidences are authentic and real, and then they stamp, university stamp. So if you have university stamp with the signature of the person in charge and the date on your evidences, that will be good. That will be enough, because the award and the foundation trust. You are trusted and the university is trusted. But remember, this is very important part of the whole process. The evidences should be documented and authenticated. So take it seriously. I know sometimes from my experience, some students, they have very nice activities, but then when they provide evidences, the evidences look very weak, or some evidences are not dated, so they are not counted. Some evidences just like in handwriting, but there is nothing that tells that who wrote the evidence was the real issuer. And we cannot just say, oh, we trust you, okay. No, this is like a system. It has to be authenticated. Now, if you face something like that, you have somebody wrote a letter for you saying you did this and that, try to authenticate it by an institute, your institution, your college, your university, and they will know. Now, it is recommended to diversify evidence issuing entities. What does that mean? Now, you see, if you look at the application, there are 4 major categories, and then under each category there are sub themes and subcategories. So a lot of evidences are required. Now, if you provide all evidences from, let's say, one entity, from one institution, that doesn't look good. You know, it will raise some questions about the authenticity of these evidences. So try to get evidences from different entities, from different companies. So if you are, let's say, you are very active in giving workshops, it's not recommended that you do workshops only at your department. Do some workshops at your department, do other workshops outside your department, and then other workshops outside your university. If you are active, let's say, in attending conferences, don't focus on only attending conferences at your college. You can attend conferences outside, or conferences attended or conducted by other colleges, other universities, and so on and so forth. So try to give variety of evidences coming from different entities and institutions. This will make your application stronger. Now, reading the guidelines booklet very carefully. So this is very important. You know, the guidelines or the booklet that you'll find on the website details everything. It gives you all the details that you need. Do this, then this is what this means. Just read it carefully, and I think you will find everything that you need. You will find the answer to all your questions. Of course, here in the workshop, we clarify for you more, and then we'll try to interpret what's written in the guidelines. Also, it's more focused. But if you read the guidelines in the booklet, I think you'll find everything you need. So please don't neglect the guidelines booklet. Now, higher scores are given to diversified sources of evidence, which I already talked about, this one, issuing entities. So if you have all your evidence from one source, it's not going to be the same as if you have your evidences from different places. Maximum of attachment to be placed on one page. Now, you know, online system, sometimes you have, you submit your evidence as an image or PDF file. Now, some students put, let's say, 5 evidences in one page. This makes it very hard to read. So the maximum number of evidences that you can have in, let's say, one page, 2. And also the number of evidence that you can upload will be set by the system. So when you go to the system, you will know how many evidences, how many attachments are allowed. And I encourage you to try before the real application. Try to go through the system. Try to create an account with one, let's say, email, and try to go through the system, and you will know and understand it more. And then once you are ready, you apply for real. So practice is good. You need to practice, and you need to go to the system and create an account and start the application, even if it's not completed. And once you are ready, you can just do the real thing. Higher scores are given to evidence conveying stronger proof, and this is common sense. Now, in case you want to add essential details or necessary elaboration of your efforts, please enclose it as an attachment. So in the system, they tell you, or the system limit you to, let's say, one evidence to evidence, depending on the criteria. And you have more, you can just attach that file separately. And also you can bring these documents for the interview. Now let me just stop for 2 minutes here if you have any questions, and then we'll come back. Please go to the discussion, to the question and answers, and write down your questions. Please, now, 2 minutes. Go ahead. I'm waiting for your questions, please. Questions about the guidelines, the general guidelines? Hello, I hope I'm not alone. Please go ahead and ask your questions. If you don't have any question, just write, I don't have a question, so that I know we can go on. Yes, any? Okay, so it seems no questions. So let me go back to the presentation. Now, these are the general guidelines. Condition. Now, the second part, another part is the conditions for participation. The first condition is this category is specified to bachelor degree university students. If you are not a university student, then you will have another category. But I'm assuming all of you are university students. That's why you attended. But sometimes, you know, during this workshop, some students from, let's say, high school attend these workshops, but they have their own. Just in case you are not a university student, this workshop is not for you. Applicants should be enrolled in the college for the present academic year. Now, what does that mean? It means even if you are in the 4th year, last semester, you can apply. Because if you are in the 4th year, that means you are a university registered enrolled student at the time of the application. We get this question all the time. Can I apply if this semester is my last semester? Of course you can, because at the time of the application, you are a student. You are considered a student at the university. Now, application or applicant should have a minimum of GPA 3.6 or equivalent. You know, sometimes you don't get GPA 4.0, 3.9, 3.67, but you get A, B, and C, and so on. So if you don't have this system, numerical system, 3 point whatever, then you might have A, B, C, D. So if you want to apply, your GPA should be A or 3.6. Now, applicant has completed no less than 2 years in his or her current program, or no less than 60 credit hours. So this, just the number of hours. Applicants should be enrolled in the university accredited by, we already talked about that, accreditation, accredited by the Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Research. Should not been a winner of distinguished academic students before within 2 cycles, excluding this cycle. Which means if you already won the award last year, the year before, or the year then you cannot apply this year. So 2 cycles plus this year should have been passed. Now, contact information for 2 of the applicants' professors. Because you are a university student, you should have recommendations from 2 professors at the university. And you will see that in the application. Now, these are just conditions for participation. Let's see if you have any questions. How many of them? 1, 2, 3, 7. Let me go and see if you have any questions for 1 minute. If you have a question, please go ahead and post it. Yeah, I'll wait for 1 minute. Please try to write questions, and so that I can answer them after the workshop, and then post them to the foundation and post them to the Tamayuz channel, so you can go back to them. No, so no questions. Okay, then let me go back. Here the video clip, the same thing as for technical reasons. I don't want to play the video because so it might not reach you clearly. So let's ignore it. Same thing here about talents. Now, the evaluation criteria. As I said before, this is the most important part that you need to understand. How are you going to be evaluated? When you submit your application, what are the criteria that you need to be evaluated? Now, this is just the summary. What I want you to do right now, I will give you 2 minutes to studying just the categories and tell me anything that draws your attention regarding the scores, regarding the category. So we have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just look at these categories, please, just very quick, and then in the question answer write anything that draws your attention, because I want to draw your attention to something. So I'll just wait for 1 minute for you to read. Look at the categories, look at the secondary criteria, look at the grades, and then let's see what you have, what comments you have. Anything that catches your eye, write it down. I'll go to the questions and answers. Okay, overlapping. Okay, Mariam said she feels that some categories are overlapping. Now we'll talk about that and we'll see if they overlap or not. Anything that you see? Now there is a question here. Is there a way, any way we can see past winner files just to get an overview of how the high scoring files look like? It's online, so I don't think you can get access to these files unless they are just printed out. Like sometimes the foundation, they select the distinguished files and then they publish them hard copy. I'm not sure about last year, but you cannot get access to the applicants' files because it's like privacy. Everything that you submit is private. Okay, anything you want to make a comment about the summary of the criteria? Go ahead, please. So Mariam and someone else, anonymous, are the only ones who wrote something. Thank you. Any more? Yes, any? Okay, it seems we'll not have any more comments. So let me go back the summary and see. Now, as you can see here, the main criteria, we have distinguished personal attributes. We have academic competitions and contests. This is personal. This is competitions, academic. And this is self-development. See? Now, if you look here at self-development, 50% of the score is about self-development. You see here, and then you have distinguished contributions and additions, but you have 500 points out of 1,000. Now, for personal development. Now, what does that mean? What does it mean to you? PD, professional development. It means you should not be only focusing on your studying at the university. It means you need to go beyond that. You need to develop yourself. You need to enhance your skills. You need to discover yourself. You need to discover your talents and then do an action. You have to be very active within the university, within the department, within the college. You have to be very active in attending or conducting workshops and attending seminars and conferences and forums. So self-development is very critical for anyone, not just the students. This is why half of the score is given to this domain, self-development. Now just imagine, I always give a scenario. Just imagine you and your friend graduated from the university and both of you applied for a job at one of the companies, let's say in Dubai. You have, let's say, a GPA of 3.0, and your friend has a GPA of 3.9, and both of you apply for the job. Now the company interviews both of you. When they interview, they ask you, what have you been doing beside your studies? You say, I have these hobbies, I have these talents, I attended this conference. You are very active. Your professional development file is great. And then they come to your friend and say, oh, what a wonderful student you are. You have 3.9. That's great. Can you talk about your activities? Can you talk about PD activities? Oh, I'm sorry, I was busy with the university. I was focusing on my GPA. Unfortunately, I could not attend any workshops. I could not attend any seminars, any conferences, because I was focusing on my GPA. Okay, both of you go out. Now the question, what do you think? Who will be taken as an employee by that company? Who will be selected? Can you write your answer in the question panel? Who will be selected, you or your friend? You have a lot of activities, but your GPA is 3.0. Your friend doesn't have any activities because she or he was focusing on GPA, but she has, let's say, 3.9. Who will be selected by the company from your point of view? Let's see. Go and write your answer, please. I had a question before. If you can see them above, please. Mariam, what questions? I thought, I feel that, yeah, you said overlapping. I had to ask, but seems that you cannot see my question. Saba, okay. Oh, okay. Let me go back. I'll check the questions while you write your answer. So Mariam, I feel that some anonymous. Saba, yeah. I won in the 12th grade. Can I participate while I am second year? Now you won in the 12th grade. That was not a university award. So this award is for university distinguished students. And now you are in the second year of university. So that's two different issues. You apply for university right now. And the condition, if you won the award itself, then you cannot apply for it before 2 cycles have passed, plus this year. So I think you can apply with no problems at all. I will also make sure of that. If something is different, then I'll let you know, or the award will let you know, the foundation. But it's clearly from the guideline. It says if you won this award and 2 cycles have not been passed, then you cannot apply. And I understand from your question that you won the 12th grade. It was a school award, not university award. So you can apply with no problems. Let's see, Mariam, I feel okay. Mariam, I could not see any questions. Okay, now the question, yeah, anonymous 3.0, yes, that's an answer. Saba, I was trying to ask you some, okay, yeah, that's it. So we have, the answer is, you will be picked up, you will be selected by the company because you are very active, in spite of the fact that your GPA is 3.0 compared to your friend's GPA of 3.9. Yeah, that's the answer, in fact. Why? Because real life does not require GPA only. Real life requires more than that. Now, my recommendation for you, you need to be involved in all activities, even if you are not thinking about any award, because life needs that. Real life is not asking for GPA and that's it. No, real life wants you to be active during your studies, inside the university, outside the university, because that's real preparation for real life. If you are active as a student beyond academic, let's say, activities, you will be active also at your work. If you do volunteering work while you are a student, that will be transferred to real life, and you will be very active and doing a lot of activities, a lot of voluntary work when you go to the real life. So try to, if I'm sure you are very active, then that's why you attended this workshop. But if you are not, or if you are not active enough, try to plan, try to find time for your professional development activities. And if you don't know, let's say, your talents, try to discover your talent. Because a lot of students, they have talents, but they don't discover their talents. And as a result, they don't develop these talents. Okay, so these are the criteria, as you can see here, 4 main criteria. And then we have the details. The first criteria, we have only one category, which is self-presentation. I will talk about that one, which has 80 points. Academic competitions and contents. These are these competitions for academic sector. That's only 100. And then 500 for the self-development, professional development. And you can see here for hobbies, and then for talents, and then societies and associations within the university, and then workshops and conferences, courses, etc., etc. The fourth category is outside the university, community contributions, social causes, and then academic research. So that's basically it. Now, let me go to this part here. We have stage 1, and then we have stage 2. Now, the assumption is that what you have here in stage 1 should be the same as stage 2, or at least the score. But what happens here, why the foundation has 2? Because sometimes, let's say, you provided evidences for stage 1. Some evidences were not there, were not missing, or some of them were not clear, or there is a reason that it was not complete. Now, during the interview, stage 2, if you have extra evidence you did not provide in stage 1, it will be added for you. So here you had 70, let's say. Your score might be 90. It is very unlikely that you have here, let's say 90 and then 70 here. Most of the cases, your score during the second phase will be higher. Why? Because of the additions that you have, because of the clarification you have during the interview. There are many reasons. So, in general, this stage number 2 is for you. It's better for you, and this is why I told you at the beginning. You need to bring extra documents you have, extra evidences, and you can also bring the original documents, evidences you submitted during your application. So here it's done while before the interview. Here is this stage is done based on the interview. Okay, it should be clear, I believe. Now let me go to the details. Unfortunately, the same thing with the video clip. Self-presentation. And self-presentation, this is, you see, 80 points. You get 80 points. This is very easy to prepare for, because what you need to do here is just to prepare a video clip of yourself talking about your achievements, talking about your participation in different activities, talking about your past accomplishments, talking about your skills, about your personality, about your relationship with others, interpersonal relationships, talking about your ambition, talking about your goals, talking about your plans. It's like 5 minutes maximum 5 minutes. It could be 4 minutes and a half, 4 minutes. Now I'll talk about the details later. But what I want to draw your attention to here is you need to focus on the actual content rather than the cosmetics. What does that mean? It means this: some students, what they do, maybe they spend, like, let's say 1 hour preparing the content, the materials. I am so and so, I do this and that. But they spend 10 hours making, let's say, background for the video on street view, this and that. That's not needed. Nobody looks for, let's say, the creation of the video. Don't waste your time creating a fancy video or going to, let's say, studio and give them money to edit your video. No need. All you can do, or maybe I recommend that you just go to a room, clear room, clean room, quiet room with, let's say, a wall, and then start talking about yourself. Talk about different categories that are required. No need for extra effort that will not bring you any more, let's say, scores. So 80 points are given for the following: clarity of presentation. So when you present yourself, you are clear. We know, we can follow your thoughts. Linguistic fluency and integrity. Your language is clear, no errors, no glitches. Sense of patriotism. You talk about your, let's say, your country. You talk about the things that you feel proud of. Now, cooperative work. What do you think? What is cooperative work? What do you do? How do you deal with cooperative work? Do you like working with others? Now, acquired skills and experiences, ambitions and distinct goals. What are your goals for the future, and what do you plan to do to accomplish these goals? And the last thing, organization and processing, progression of ideas. So you see, there is nothing that says cosmetics, that says the background, that talks about the colors, the contrast about colors, the type of colors you use, the type of camera. No, as long as the video is clear and the audio is clear, that's enough. And you have 10 points here, 10 for each. Now, let me just talk about something here. First session, and then second session. Now, what does that mean here? What do you think? You see here, for the video, you can prepare it. Some students prepare and then read, and they might get full grade. Most students get full score here if they follow the criteria here. The presentation clear, the language is nice. They talk about their activities, patriotism, cooperative work, their skills and experiences, their plans and ambition, and the ideas are sequenced and very clearly to understand. They get the point. But what happens? In fact, it didn't happen so far, but just assumptions. Let's say a student who got 80 here, everything was clear in the video. He prepared very well. Maybe he memorized the text and then he read it in front of the camera, something like that. Maybe he was using data show, whatever. But when he or she comes to the interview, the committee will ask him, can you talk about yourself, your ambition, your goals, your activities, but without copying yourself in the video. Just talk naturally. And then he or she gets stuck, and because he does not have that fluency in reality, the score will go down. But in general, it doesn't, because most students who apply for the award are distinguished students. They are excellent, and just usually they get the same score in the second session. But this is why it's here, because we want, or the award wants to make sure that students are really can or have the ability to present themselves with fluency, with clarity, and they know their goals and how to achieve these goals. They talk about themselves in a nice sequence. Their ideas are smooth. They can be understood by any person. Usually, as I said before, you will not be asked in the interview to talk about yourself, avoiding what you mentioned, not what you mentioned, the same structure that you mentioned in the video. That means you are not supposed to memorize what you have in the video and then you say it in the interview. That's not the goal. The goal is just you want to make sure that you know how to present yourself and talk clearly and smoothly. Now, let me just go to the question and answer and give you 1 minute. If you have a question, write it down there. Please, right now. Oh, we already have some questions, I believe. I'm trying. How can I apply in the first year? No, we have already answered that. So if you have questions, just answer them while I try to see what we have here. Be able to express and show. Okay. I'm just trying. What about photo evidences? They need to be signed and dated? That's a question. I'll come back to it. Let me. Okay. Now, what about photo evidence? Do they need to be signed and dated? Now, if they are not clear enough and if they don't indicate the occasion, then yes. What you can do, you can date them and maybe stamp them from the university, because sometimes you provide, let's say, a photo which doesn't indicate the location, the date, when it was taken, etc., etc. So to be safe, to be at the safe side, write the date and stamp the photo from your university. That's the easiest way to follow. But if the photo itself is already clear and indicates, let's say, the date, maybe you attended a conference, and in the conference you took a photo beside the board or the poster which has the date, that's enough. So you are the judge. You need to judge the evidence. If you think it's not clear enough, then you have to do something about it. Yeah, that's a good question, Mariam. In general, try to seek help from your university, your college. What if my GPA is 3.0, close to excellent? Uh, uh, you see that the condition from university, from the award is 3 point, 3 point what? 3.6. Let me, maybe you need to write to the award and ask them, but the condition is very clear, 3.7, 3.6. It's very close. So I'm assuming, or maybe you can apply next cycle. Okay, let's see, because it's a condition. Now, my recommendation for you, you just send an email message to the award and see if they will be flexible or not. But usually the condition is the condition. It's a condition of the application. Now, let's see. What about, okay? Is there any way we can see? Okay, I had questions before. I was trying. Sometimes they ask for elaboration. Do we need to attach it as a Word file and write in? You can save it as PDF file or Word file. Doesn't matter. Yeah. And can I use evidence from the school years? Right. If yeah, Saba, if the evidences fall in the time frame 3 years plus this year, then yeah, you can do that. And can I use Hamdan Award in the 12th grade as academic competition? It depends on what you mean, because in the it's in the competition, it's not academic competition, so it will not be accounted in there. As an Arab student, do I have to use English language while the interview? You see, the interview doesn't matter. You can talk in Arabic, you can talk in English. Usually, even the application, if you want, you can apply in Arabic. You don't have to apply in English. You have the choice to apply in Arabic or in English. And for the interview, if you apply in English and you like to talk in Arabic in the interview, usually the interviewers are bilingual. So that should not be a problem at all. Okay. Now, regarding the question 3.5, let me answer it. I'll ask and make sure I'll answer it, and then the answers will be posted to Tamaya's channel, so you can check it there. If the award or the foundation say yes, I will say yes. If not, I will say no, and then you can check it. You can check the answers later. So after the workshop, we'll start answering all of these questions in more formal way, in more details also. Now, if I participate this year, do I have to use 12th grade and 11th grade because I just have first year? Yeah, as I said, you can use evidences for the last 3 years plus this year. Now, where they come from, if you don't have enough evidence from university, then yeah, you can go back to the university, to the school evidences, because it's it's the same student. The video can do the video, can we do it in Arabic too? Yeah, of course. Why not? Don't worry about the language. English or Arabic is the same for us or for the award. You have to decide. You have to decide. Do you want to apply in Arabic or in English? Usually, if you want, sometimes you apply in English, but you have a lot of evidences, certificates in Arabic. It's fine. Sometimes you apply in Arabic, but you have a lot of evidences in English, so use them as evidences. So the language is not an issue at all. Okay, any more? How can you know that all? Any more? Okay, no more. Okay, so let me go back. I hope I'm not missing any question, because I'm going just from the question answer panel to the presentation. Okay, so this is, you see, self presentation. It seems you don't have Any questions about this one? Now remember, when you record the video, make sure you address these 8 points. Of course, some of them are common sense, like clarity of presentation. You cannot address it. It comes by itself. The linguistic fluency and integrity also by itself. But you need to talk about when it comes to like talking about cooperative work. You talk about the cooperative work and how you go with it. Do you use it? Do you like working with others? And also you talk about your experience. You talk about your plans and your goals and your ambitions to achieve your goals. What do you want to do? What do you want to be in the future? And how are you working? What are you doing to achieve these goals? Let's say my plan is to be, let's say, I don't know, to be a doctor, to be the best doctor in the world, to be the best teacher, to be the best engineer, and this is what I'm doing to achieve that goal. My goal to be, let's say, to make a change in the society. So these are very, very important. So you need to make sure that you address all the 8 points. Here, of course, organization and processing of progression of ideas. This is common sense. So you have number 8 and number 2 and number 1. Let's see. They come automatically by themselves. If you do a good job in the presentation, then the presentation will be clear. The language will be fluent when you talk. It can be judged from the whole video, and the organization and progression of ideas will be also clear. Now, if you don't have any questions, let's go to the second category. This is the first category, number 1, self-presentation. Let me just check one more time if you have any questions about this part. No. Okay. So it seems no more. Okay, let me go back. Now, academic competitions and contests. Let me just read it to make sure that you understand it. You have, this is number 2, we have 100 points just for competitions, academic. Now, see, the key is academic and then contests. Now, the criterion looks at winning and or high achievement positions. High achievement, first place, second place, obtained by the student in various competitions and contests at the university, you see, academic, college, department level, or other organizations in the community. But it's academic. So you join a competition that is related to your academic field on the level of the department, on the level of the college, on the level of the university or outside the university. So you have a big room for that. Now, applicant may list all winning certificates, awards, advanced positions he or she has acquired in academic competition or contests. However, just look at this one. Maximum of 100 points will be awarded. That's the maximum. So sometimes you provide more than required, more than enough. But it's good for you. You have a room for that, and I'll show you. Other organizations, university, department, college, university, but other organizations include community-wide organizations. So it's beyond university. And international organizations include inside and outside UAU, international. Now, academic excellence of certificates of participation are not accepted. You see this one, when you get, let's say, your GPA, that's not academic competition and contest. Your GPA is 4.0. It's not counted here. Only winning. So remember, you have to winning certificates. So let's see here. Go back. Now, so here, let me just start with the allocated points. If you calculate, you have 25, 25, 50, and then 70, 90, 105, 120, 130, 140. You don't have to get 140. You need to get 100 out of 140, and 100 is full grade. So you see, you have a lot of space here. Now, You start with department. As you go higher, you get higher score. So if you have 2 certificates from the department, you say, what is it? Let's say you have 1 here. That means you have 10. And then let's say you have from the college 1. Here it's 15. That's 25. And then you have from university, let's say 1. That's 20. That makes how many? How many points? So we have 45, right? And then you have 25 other organizations that make it 70, right? 25. So 45, 45, 50, 60, 70. Now you need 30. You can, let's say, have 20 from here, 20. And then you have 10 from here. Let's say 10 from here. So you see, you don't have to get, you don't have to get 2 from other organizations. You don't have to get 2 from the college. You just have to make the total of 100 out of 140. So you have a room. Sometimes, let's say you have 2 from other organizations outside university, that will give you 50 points. So you need 50 more. So maybe 2 from university, you need only 1 from department. That's it. Sometimes you have all, you have 25, you have 25, that's 140, but the total will be only 100. You cannot get 140, even if you got all of them, right? That's the maximum. The maximum you can get is 100. Now, the same thing here, stage 1, stage 2, which I already talked about. Stage 2 is just to confirm what you have in stage 1, and sometimes to correct, to add what has been done in stage 1. Sometimes you got 80 only, and then during the interview you brought more certificates. They will be added for you. So here you have only 80. You don't have anything here. You don't have anything here. You don't have anything here. So you got 80. But during the interview, you brought 1 from university. So 20 points will be added to your score. Okay. Now let's see if you have any questions. Let me go to question and answer. I'll give you 2 minutes to ask. Oh, okay. Air conditioning. Now, go ahead, please, and ask about that category. Academic competitions and contests. A distinguished student should participate in such activities. Go ahead. Any? You don't have any questions? No questions? Please, if you don't have any questions, we can continue, but I want to make sure that you don't have any. Usually this category, sometimes it's a little bit, it needs more attention. Because it might overlap with, it's not it might look as if it overlaps with other certificates, other winnings, like in talent output. Any questions? No questions? Okay. So if you don't have any questions, let me go back to the presentation. So this is the second category. Now let's go to the third and most important category of the application. See, self-development, 500 points. It's 50% of the score. Now, this year, add to it the 200 points for pandemic activities, the activities that you did during the COVID-19. Now, let me read it so that it becomes clear for you. This criterion refers to the applicant's efforts and developing his/her hobbies and abilities leading to distinguished outcomes. We'll talk about the difference. Additionally, criterion looks at applicants' apparent contributions to associations, students' unions, and scientific societies. It also encompasses applicants' participation in various scholarly activities, as specialized in workshops, training courses, conferences that would enhance the applicant talents, hobbies, and abilities. We'll talk about the difference as we go on. Okay, let's see. Let's start the first part. Now, development of hobbies and abilities. Practicing a hobby means, we already said what a hobby is. Now, the hobby could be could lead to become an ability, and the ability will might come as a talent. But a hobby, as we said before, it's not a profession. It's done at your leisure time. It could be reading, could be swimming. You do it at your free time. As you go on and develop it, it might become something noticeable ability, and then it might become also a talent, develop to be a talent. Evidence to be listed in talent criterion is not accepted in this category. So whatever you have for a talent, don't use it in hobbies, because a hobby is not the same as a talent. You have separate categories, one for hobbies and then one for talents. Marks will be granted to actual practice of the hobby. It's not enough to say, I have this hobby. What do you do to develop this hobby? That's what counted. Saying it without talking about what you do, then that's not enough. Okay. Now, hobbies. As you can see here, what you need to have, methods of developing and transformation of hobbies into abilities. As I said before, the hobby, as you go on, it becomes an ability. As you develop it, it gets something more professional. It becomes an ability, and then this ability might become a talent for you. So to transfer that hobby to an ability, you need to improve it. You need to do something. If you, let's say, you have a hobby of, let's say, swimming, what do you do to develop that? How can you improve your hobby? There are, at least you have to provide 2 methods of development. 1, 2. And each one, of course, the evidence will have 20 points. So if you have, let's say, the serial number, you have 20 and 20. You might get 30, you might get 20. But you have 40 points for 2 methods of development. Now, so let's say your hobby is reading. Now, how do you develop it? You can say I subscribe to the library, and then you have to provide, let's say, a card, a subscription card, valid subscription card. That's number 1, and then you can provide maybe a list of books that you read. Another one, you can say I write, maybe to develop my reading hobby, I visit maybe let's say book exhibits, and then you provide evidence of doing that. So methods of developing that hobby and transforming that into ability. So you need to have two methods. You go to hobby number 2. So here you have reading, here you have swimming, and then reading, swimming, and maybe then painting. So you need to have 3 hobbies to get 120 points, 40 for each. And for each hobby, you have to have 2 methods of developing that hobby. Now let me just go to question and answer. If you have any questions about this part, I'll give you one minute. Go ahead, I'll make the timer. Maybe. Okay, no questions? Oh yeah, I think we have some. I think that there is a rule that the university has to finish 16 years in the university. I want in, oh, yeah, 60 hours. Anyway, if there is any question that's not clear, we can just I'll answer it in the questions and answer later on, and it will post it. So anything that you have, which is like needs to more clarification from the foundation, I'll make sure that is the right information. Sometimes they ask for elaboration. It's clear. Let's see. I had question before. Okay. I stopped 1 year after the college. That's okay. There is Saba has a question. Mariam, how will points be given? What about if I only have one certificate? Okay, certificate for what? For are we talking about? If you have one certificate, you'll get. If you are required to provide 2 certificates, you provide one, you get half of the score. Even for the methods of developing Hafiz, you are required to provide 2 methods. If you provide one, you get 20 out of 40. Saba, I stopped 1 year after college. That means I have just 1 year marked into 2020 and 12th grade marks in 2018, so I can accept. Just you see 3 years, and you can see 17, 18, 19, and this year. So you don't have. If you don't have for 1 year, it's okay, but make sure you don't exceed the time limit. The time frame is 3 years plus this year. So if you don't have for 2018, fine, but you have for 2017 academic year, and then 2019, and then 20. Any more questions? Okay. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, I'll just go back. Back to okay, so that's methods of development and transformation into abilities. The most important part here, because we are talking about hobbies, you don't have to provide any evidence of winning in your hobby. It's only developing that hobby. You have a reading hobby, swimming, painting. What do you do to improve that hobby? I need to provide 2. If you don't have 2, you provide 1, you get half of the score. That's common sense. But if you want to get the full grade, the full score, you have to provide 3 hobbies, 2 methods for each. And remember the same thing here in stage number 2. If you provided 1 evidence, you don't have the second one, and then you got it somehow, you can just provide it during the interview. Now, talents, I had a very nice video here, but for technical, as I said before, technical reasons, I'll avoid the videos altogether. Now, talents. We already said a talent. What is a talent? It's an outstanding performance in one or more perspectives, such as mental ability, innovative. We already said that in the definitions of terms. Creative thinking, artistic skills, and or motor skills. These skills skillful dimensions should be attributes of originality, flexibility, and elaboration. This is all has been explained. Now, one thing that you need to pay attention to, the applicant should select one talent. If you have two talents, just study your talents and select one of them. That is truly innate, continuous, and has produced evident outcomes. Now, evident outcomes, we'll talk about the outcomes. That means if it's a talent, that means you have participated in events and you won advanced positions in your talent. You are a painter, you have a talent in painting. Your paintings were in somewhere exhibit, and then you got the first or second, third place in one. That's winning. So this is what is expected as evidence of talent outcomes. For hobbies, no, you don't have to provide any winning. Now, participating in different events and attending lectures, you see here, seminars, assemblies, conventions, and making purposeful visits are examples of talent development methods. These are not outcomes, and this is one of the things that is misunderstood. So for the talent, you have development methods, and you have talent outcomes. So for the development, it's like hobbies. How do you develop your talent? For the outcomes, no, you have to win, and you have to get advanced positions. You have to be the first to get the first rank, third rank, fourth rank, 10th rank. It's an advanced position as a result of participating in your talent. Now, talent methods of development should be diverse and multiple. It's just as we said before, diversity is important. Now, internet issued participation credentials are considered talent development methods, not talent products, unless granting organization is internationally known. So if it's international, everybody knows, like UNESCO, then okay. Otherwise, it's methods of developing the talent. Now let's see. Now we see here for the talent, it's one talent. Don't write more. You know, for the hobbies, you have three hobbies. For the talent, you have one talent with 80 points for method of development. Okay, so this should be clear. It's only one talent. Don't write one talent here, another talent. No, one talent, but write variety of development methods of developing that talent. So, for example, if your talent is painting, then how do you develop that talent? You can write a method of development number one. I visit exhibits, give evidence. For example, painting exhibits. I participate in competitions, and then I watch, let's say, videos, a lot of videos. You give evidence. Everything has to be documented. And number two, I have a tutor that teaches me maybe how to paint. But if you are talented, then you are not supposed to have any more tutors. Anyway, so methods of development about the same talent. One talent, different methods of development. The same thing here, you have 20 points for each, stage one, and then stage two, the same thing as I said before. Now, before I stop, I'll just go to talent outputs because it's different. You see here, talent outputs, 100. How is it different from methods of development? It's very clear. As I said before, what do you do to improve your talent? What are the activities you do to improve that talent that is selected? Painting, reading, writing. However, the outputs, what advanced positions did you get as a result of your talent? So distinction and achieving advanced winning positions, should characterize talent outputs, supported by showcasing students' outstanding works. Participating in activities, participation, you see, attending training courses and forums and field visits are considered talent development methods because it's participation, not talent outcomes. Why? Because you are not winning. You didn't win here. It's participation only. So this is a very important point that you need to know. When you come to the talent outcome, you have to mention your winning your advanced position. So here, talent outcomes, 4. You need to provide 4. But these are not methods. You say, as a result of my talent, I participated in one of my paintings at a Sharjah exhibit, and I was selected to be the first winner. So first winner, okay, 25. So first rank, you got first rank. Second, I traveled to, let's say, one of the countries, to South Korea, and then I participated in painting exhibits, and I got the second rank. Okay, that's a talent output. So, and you go like that. So you have to provide 4 winnings, advanced positions, first, second, third, fourth. Now, if you don't have 4, okay, provide what you have. You might get 50, you might get 75, you might get 100, and so on and so forth. But you need to differentiate between talent methods of development and talent outcomes. So let me just go to the question and answers, and I'll give you some time here because it's very important to understand these 2 things. I'll give you 2 minutes. Okay, please. 2 minutes. Timer. So did you understand hobbies and talents and the difference between them? Hobbies, something you do at your leisure time, but you are not required to get into competitions and win positions. All you are required from the point of view of the award is to mention the methods of developing these hobbies. Your hobby is swimming. What do you do to improve it? To turn it into an ability, something higher in rank. Your hobby is to write stories. What do you do to improve your writing, your hobby? Talent is different. Select one talent, and then you write the methods of development, provide 4 methods of developing that talent, and then provide 4 talent outcomes. What positions did you get as a result of that talent? If you don't have 4, provide 3. If you don't have 3, provide 2. But you get points for the evidence that you provide. Okay, go ahead. Is this any question? No, that's old one. No questions? Two minutes have passed. Hello? Anyone there? Now there is a, can I apply in the first year of university? I think I answered this. If you have already completed 60 hours. Okay, it seems no more questions here. Okay, let's go back to self-development. We are just continuing the subcategory number 3, participation in students, societies, and associations. You have 100 points. Let me just read the notes. Applicants participate in student associations and unions and clubs at the level of, we have department, we have college, we have university, and then we have community. So students, associations, and unions. And I think any student, anyone who is at the university can join these associations and unions very easily. There are a lot of associations, there are a lot of clubs, there are a lot of unions at the university. So this shouldn't be a problem for most of you. Applicant must include his or her membership card. So it's not enough to say, I am a member at this club. What is the proof? So you have to provide the card as an evidence. If there is no such a card, let's say the club does not, then maybe a letter that is authenticated, signed, and stamped that says you are a member of this union and association and club. Applicant must include evidence of his/her type of involvement and roles assumed in the student association. It's not enough, of course, to say a member, that's it. You need to say what you do. So a member, you need to be an active member. You need to mention 2 things that you do in that society or that club or that union. So here, as you can see, 100, you have you are given the chance to be at 5 student association and societies, and then you provide 2 most contributions, 2 of your most activities you do. So for example, if you are in, let's say, in the department level, you are in students, let's say, environmental club or academic club, for example. Here, then what are the 2 things, the most significant things that you do? You write about the first one, you write about the second one, just briefly, and then you provide evidence that you are a member in that club. So remember, if you only say I'm a member and you provide the card without saying anything here, then you get nothing. Because what is important is what you do. A lot of students might register in clubs, join societies, but they do nothing. So doing nothing is as if there is no need to join any of these clubs. So for the clubs and societies, you need to have 5, not need to, but if you have 5, you get 100 points. If you have 4, you get 80 points, assuming that the most significant contributions are clear and you are really active in these societies. Now let me go back and see if you have any questions about clubs. Any questions about clubs, societies? This should be, as I said before, should be easy for any one of you, because there are tens of societies, tens of clubs at any college, any university college. And you can even establish some new ones. Be creative, be innovative, and start creating some societies that enhance, let's say, academic domain, enhance your life at the university, helps your other students. A lot of noble goals can be achieved by these societies. And one minute, maybe. I'll go back. Okay, so if you don't have any questions about societies, we'll just move to the other one. Now this one, the 4th category in the self-development, this focuses on workshops, courses, lectures, forums, and conferences. Same thing here, you have 100 points. Any activity that you attend or you do, you prepare, you organize, will fall in this category. Now here for the workshop, what kind of activity do you do? You just list the activity, any activity. You attended workshop, you attended the course, you attended lecture, you attended the conference. You list it here, and then you provide the evidence. So for each activity, you get 20 points, in total of 100 points. This is the first stage, and then same thing here, second stage. Sometimes you provide only 4. When you come to the interview, you provide evidence for the another activity, it will be added for you. Or sometimes you provide an evidence that is not such very clear, you get 10 points, and during the interview, you clarify that evidence, and then 10 points will be changed to 20 points. Okay, now distinguished contributions and additions. This is number 4. So criteria number 4. We are done with number 1, 2, and 3. Number 3 was the self-development, which had 50% of the scores. This is the 4th, the last one. Now, before I go on, if you have questions, please go ahead and ask. And after the workshop, I'll answer all of them one by one, inshallah. And then, as I said before, the answers and the questions will be posted to Tamay's channel, and you can go back to read the answers. And hopefully, anything that is not clear for you now, it will be clear and clarified regarding even the 2 years, the 60 credit hours, and so on, and the high school and university. 1 minute for you to ask any question about category 1, criteria 1, 2, and 3 before we. Okay. Okay, let's have a break, short break for 15 minutes, and then we'll come back. And then we'll finish the last category when we come back. 15 minutes only, please. 15 minutes, then we'll come back. Okay, assalamu alaikum. I'm back. So this, as I said before, this is the last category, the last criterion that you have to address in your application. Distinguished contribution and additions. You have 320 points. Now this criterion explores the community-oriented contributions the applicant makes, which illustrates his or her interest in getting involved. So focusing is, or the focus is on community. This criterion also looks at the extraordinary contributions efforts applicant offers, such as productive projects, pioneering research studies, and creative ideas. Let's just go to the details. Now, community contributions, you have 80 points. Now, here you have to be active in community occasions, events like religious, national, sports, cultural, charitable, voluntary, and environmental activities or events. You must provide strong proof of your participation in these events. The evidences, as I said before, they should be authenticated. It could be like certificates, could be letters, could be videos or photos, but remember they should be very strong, indicating the work that you did or the event that you participated in. And the first category here, so you have 80 points, community event. You have just to mention the event, what you did during the event, and then you have the evidence. You can provide four, only four. That's the limit of the contributions you did. They could be anything, religious or charitable or voluntary or environmental. Just read the guidelines. If you have four with evidences, well documented evidences, then you get the full score, 18. If you have two, you get 40. If you have three, you get 16. So each evidence, each event you participate in with correct and right documented evidence, you get 20 points. That's in the first stage. The second stage, it's you already know. It's like making sure that what has been stated in stage 1 is the same as stage 2. Now, let me go and see if you have any questions. Go to the question and answer panel. If you have any question, please let me know right now. Okay. Do you have any questions so far, please? No? Okay, if you don't have, let me just continue. Social courses, it has 140 points. Now, a distinguished student is expected to have remarkable humanitarian and patriotic stance, and to get involved in causes that promote patriotism and eliminate the sense of national identity on both the personal and social levels, such as national identity preservation campaigns, charity campaigns, blood donation drives. You see, these are categories that you can do. Intercultural respect and appreciation initiatives, environment protection and natural resources conservation projects, and anti-drug smoking sponsorship. So a distinguished student should focus on one of these domains and then adopt social cause. And for the details, let's go to slide number 2. 100. Okay, so cause 1, only select one. But what you have to do, you have 5 things that you need to address for this issue, for this cause. Cause introduction. What is the cause that you adopted? You have to explain it clearly. And what were the efforts that you exerted in this cause? What did you do? What are the things that you spent that make this a social cause effective and has impact on the society? What did you learn as a result of adopting this cause? Personal skills and benefits acquired, and a creative and innovation. How is this cause innovative and creative? What did you do? What are the things that you followed to make it creative? You should be creative in adopting any issue. And the last thing is the results. What results were achieved as a result of your efforts? What were the changes on the level of the community or the university? Now remember, for example, if the cause or the issue that you adopted was, let's say, fighting drugs at the university campus. Now, what did you do? Maybe you wrote brochures, you created a website, maybe you made some videos, maybe you created a YouTube channel. What were the efforts that you did? And then the most important stuff is, what were the results? Maybe the result that some students stopped dealing with drugs. Hopefully there are no drugs at university or schools, but I'm just giving you an example. Now, the results could be the number of students who stopped taking drugs as a result of your efforts. How could you provide an evidence? Maybe you have letters from some students. I'd like to thank so-and-so who helped me do this and that. Let's say smoking. And then the evidence should be documented also and approved by the university, maybe authenticated by the university. So the social cause could be anything that has an impact on the society, not necessarily drugs. Anything that has an impact on the society. Remember, presenting the social cause has 40 points. So you need to be very clear. The code should be very clear, and the illustration that you provide should be very clear for the reader, to the point, be to the point. Now, the efforts that you exerted on the code, what did you do? Just answer that question. What did you do? What are the things that you conducted to treat or to deal with this issue, with the social code? And as a result of your efforts, and as a result of what you have been, what you did, you have to talk about the personal skills and benefit that you gain as a result of adopting this course. I learned how to communicate with other people. I learned how helping others is self-satisfactory. What did you learn? The benefits, the skills. I learned how to deal with this and that. And creativity and innovation, you talk about the things that are not traditional that you did. Maybe some will say, oh, okay, I created some social networks to spread the news about this cause. I created a website and YouTube channel to spread also. I designed posters and pamphlets and brochures. So something innovative, something creative. So that's second part of number 4. And the last thing is the academic research. It has 100 points. Let me just read this one and then I'll go to the details. Please consider the following criteria: the importance of the research or project, state the objectives, procedures, results, language and organization. Applicant attaches the research he or she perceives as a distinguished project. Here the 4 stated criteria, the criteria that have been set. Now, research paper should be written in accordance with scientific research writing principle. This depends on whether it's scientific or otherwise, educational maybe, literary. APA style, MLA, there are different styles for writing the research. Now, research proven to contain plagiarized text or content copied off hard copy materials or the internet will be disregarded. So you need to make sure that you do not copy and paste from any source without giving credit for the authors. That will be considered plagiarism. Right now, there are a lot of services that you can check that will tell you if your work is plagiarized. There are so many of them on the internet, and most likely at your university, they should have like a service like iAuthenticate or Save Assignment, different types of companies that will help you in this regard. For a group project, the participant must attach a letter of consent signed by all study partners, also illustrating the role of each participant in the research project. Individually conducted research project will receive higher points. It depends. Sometimes, yeah, of course, but it depends. If the group project has like 6 or 10, that's not the same as if the project has only 1 or 2 authors. Now, what are the things that you have to follow to make sure your project is good? You have the title of the project. Of course, you attach the project, but these are the criteria for scoring the project. Now, significance of research or project. It could be research or it could be a project. 20 points. What is the significance? Why is it important? What does it do for the field? What are the goals of the project? And procedures. What did you do to answer or to achieve these goals? Then the procedures could be, if it's a research, could be who were the participants? What were the tools that you used to collect data? What analysis did you use to analyze the data that you collected? So all of these are, there is a lot of, it's well known in the field. You check your field and then you'll see what you need to write under procedures. But usually you have the sample, you have the instruments, you have the, what other than that, you have, if it's an experiment, what type of experiment it is, experimental, and then what type of analysis did you conduct, like descriptive statistics, like ANOVA, different types of statistics depending on your project. So this should be clear and well written. Now the results, you have to discuss the results in light of the goals or the questions that you have. So in the research, if you have questions, say the project and tries to answer the following questions. You have 3. Then in the results, you say to answer question number 1, this is what I found, and then discuss it. Discuss the results. So that's also 20, 20, 20. Now language and organization. This is 20. So if you do a good job in these 4, then this 20 will come automatically. So this is the research project. And remember, at the university, you might have, let's say, you are required to do a research project, or sometimes you do a graduation, or sometimes you collaborate with other students on doing just a research on topic that you studied in one of the courses. But in all cases, you have to follow the academic style of writing this project. Now, that's it for the categories. For criteria, we have 4. Now, for the references, we already said that. I mentioned that at the beginning. So make sure you have 2 professors who will be endorsing you and who will write recommendation letters for you. Just you can arrange that with your professors. Now, documentation, it's already, of course, when you document your work, you can use, let's say, PDF files. You can use images, JPEGs, or maybe GIF files. You have videos. So these are the types of documentation that you can. And sometimes you have other type of files, PowerPoint files. Even PowerPoint files, if they don't have animation or transition, you can save them as PDF files because of the format. You can use any type of files, well-known files, Microsoft Office. Now, one thing that you might need it, sometimes the video is too big to upload to the system. If it's too big to upload to the system, what you can do, you can put it in one of the cloud computing services like OneDrive, Google Drive, like iCloud, like for shared, etc., etc., and then share the link, but make the link shareable. Anybody with the link can download the video and put it to the system, because that will be much better than as not uploading the video. Of course, the video has 180 points or 100 points. It's a huge chunk of the grade. Now, the applicants' forms are all in the website. So if you go to tahkeem.ha, hamdanaward.ae, then you will see the applications. But usually, this is what you need to do. These are the steps: download nomination application form and manual. Read the manual. This you are here. You read the manual very well, understand it, and then go over the application criteria and conditions, understand. Now make your planning, prepare your evidences, prepare the images, prepare the videos, and it's recommended that you have numbers, let's say 1.1, 1.1.2 for this. So just follow the same numbering system of the criteria. That will make it easier for you. So when you start uploading, 1.1 is for, let's say, number 1, for criteria number 1, and then subcategory number 1. 2.2.1, something like that. So follow a system that will make it easier for you. Once you make the planning and you prepare your files, different files, images, videos, PDF files, all the files that you will use, then you need to submit your application online. Remember, it's online. So fill in the application form, include, this is common sense, the evidences that you have collected, the strong ones, the authenticated ones, the stamped and the dated evidences. So the process is not difficult, but it might take some time, and this is normal. I wish you good luck, and I'm very optimistic about you and about the whole process. Just go ahead and apply for the award, and inshallah you will get it. If you don't get it this cycle, you'll get it next cycle. And if you have, this is the website, if you have any questions, you can always go back and ask the award here. They have the website, they have the email, and then they have, you see, YouTube channel, you have Instagram, you have Twitter, you have Facebook, you have all social networking channels. And then that's it. And let's go to question and answer session about the whole workshop. Let me just move to that part, waiting for your questions. Now, one thing, I don't need this one. I'm sorry, I have to go to, yeah, to the question panels. Okay, let's see. I'll wait for you. I will wait for your questions. And also, we'll try to answer all your questions, post them. The award, the foundation will post them to the Tamayiz channel or maybe YouTube channel. They will let you know. So please go ahead and start your questions about all categories. I'm trying to explore your questions. Sabah has a question. Do we have to bring an excellence certificate from college due to my high GPA? You have to prove that your GPA is 3.6 or higher. And usually you can print out your academic record. Now, Sabah, can you send this data show as a document? This is a PowerPoint. I don't know. It says to as a document for what? Documentation, you mean? I'll leave it with the award, and if they want, they will. But I'm not sure if that is okay. So because now it's this presentation is the property of the foundation. It's not mine anymore. I just delivered the workshop, and this file becomes the ownership of the foundation. Any more questions about the categories? It seems no questions. Subhanakallah bihamdika tabarak ismuka ta'ala jadduka la ilaha ghayruh. Then we'll come to the end of this workshop, and we'll try to answer your questions that you posted. And hopefully you found this workshop useful, and you will take the ideas that you learned from this workshop and apply them and start working hard for your application. Good luck and see you soon, inshallah.